welcome to another Grit and Grime basketball podcast. I'm your host, as always, David Sagoe, here with Thomas Arnal.
Hello.
And Jose Garcia Vidal.
Ciao.
We're
Italian
back
today. I don't know why. Yeah.
Hey, you got to cater to all markets. All right, everything's market driven. Everything's data driven. It's all about the marketing. So shout out to Italy and our viewers there.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm gonna go and turn on the light. Leave it in, Tom.
Sure. I was going to say something, but not twice.
All
I
right.
say something dirty.
So, we've got another round of playoff games. I mean, this is what we did our preview of this round last game.
Yeah.
And by the time you listen to this, one of the series could already be over in a short week.
Yeah.
Very likely.
Yes, that series is being played tonight. The Golden State Warriors are in Dallas against the Dallas Mavericks. Life comes at you fast, doesn't it? I mean, it's just a week ago you guys were saying Luka was going to defeat these guys. Not you, Jose.
Not me.
Sure.
It was cowboy hat over there. He was sipping the Luka-zade. Hey.
I did think it was gonna be like closer though. Yeah.
Same.
I think we all did, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
So what went wrong? What's gone wrong for Dallas?
I think what I said before, what I said on my prediction was the most important thing in this series is not Luka-Doncic, is the role players of Dallas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're not showing up as they should. Some of them, have like here and there good instances of games, but they're just not performing the way they should, so they can beat these Warriors teams. And the Warriors are just too good. They just have too many weapons, man. It's just ridiculous. When they get going, they just impossible to stop.
Yeah. But have they I mean, the games, game one was a blowout, coming off the back of game 7 against the Suns. You could argue that Dallas was less prepared. But I mean, game 2, while comfortable, definitely wasn't a blowout, and game 3 the same, right? Dallas managed to stick around in each of those games, particularly at home where they had a big lead, didn't they? They had a 19-point lead in the first quarter, was it? And then they end up losing by 9 points, which is a big swing, right? So watching the game is quite alarming, but actually they were up, so it's not the massive beatdown, it's not the huge blowouts that we're getting in the other series, which makes it all the more interesting that they are facing a 3-0 hole. And I do think it has been the battle of the role players, because Steph has been great. I think in the playoffs so far, he's averaging 28. Yes. I'm not sure what it is for the series. Luka's obviously averaging 34. He had a 40-point game in the last game. I'm pretty sure he scored over 30 in each of the games against the Warriors. I think Steph has gotten about to the 30 mark as well. But then it's what happens beyond that. And I think, for me anyway, I would say the difference has been the defense.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Warriors have been able to consistently score against what is a very good defensive Dallas team. Highlighted by game 2 where they scored 126. But Dallas only scraped 100 points in game 3, and they only had 87 in game 1. And I think game 1 showed a clash of styles. Luka likes to slow the game down, and the Warriors have been pushing it more than ever. Right? Yeah. They've been pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. They take every opportunity to go on the break and not play against a set Dallas defense. Whereas I think Luka, with his high b-ball IQ, he's more comfortable slowing the game down and just saying, okay, I'm going to beat you cerebrally. I'm going to look at what you're doing. I'm going to, break you down, and take his time and try and control the pace that way. I think that pace and defensive battle has won the Warriors the series, essentially. No one's ever blown a 3-0 lead. Tom?
No one?
No one, ever. 52-0 teams that are up 3.
Oh, it's more than 52. It's 100 and something. No, it's hundreds. Yeah. It's a huge number.
Oh, I don't know where I'm at 52 then. Okay. Anyway.
Well, give it a couple more seasons
in the conference finals.
Could be.
Give it a couple of seasons. Coach Rivers will make that happen eventually. No, I think I think it's literally that simple. It's like it's a case of great defense against a one-man band, almost to that effect. If you want to sum it up, like, you know what I mean, like Jose said, on the Mavs. It all depends on how productive the rest of the team is, because I think they literally the Warriors went, okay, well, we'll let Luka do what he wants to do to a certain extent. I mean, we've seen that Wiggins is actually bothering him quite a lot with his length and athletic plays, dunking all over Luka, but also being quite disruptive to how he plays. So I think it's a weird one, because after game one, I was like, oh god, it's gonna be like 4 blowouts, four massive losses. But no, actually it's been closer than we think, and yet you're the one who is facing elimination, whereas on the other side it's blowout after blowout and it's still 2 apiece. So it's a funny game, right? It's a funny game, but I think it's literally that. It's defense against one man. And
I found really interesting how we're talking about role players, and Dinwiddie's numbers have been up and down. But I think it's quite good to see Jalen Brunson perform. He had some good plays the last game.
Get that?
I mean, he's been quite 31. He's been quite consistent. 31 on game 2, sorry, and on game 3 he had 20. Good for him. But then Kleber hasn't like he's not taking shots anymore. He just lost his confidence in game 3 after missing a few. Bertans had two points in the last game. It
was a dunk though.
Yeah, it was a nice dunk actually.
True.
But it counts the same, right? And then on the other side, on the other team is Kevon Looney scoring more than 20 points for the first time in his NBA career.
Yeah.
At his age, it's
26.
I mean, that's
26.
Is he? No.
Yes.
I always think he's this old man.
He looks 37, but
he moves like he's old.
And he moves like one.
Yeah, he moves like he's super old.
Anyway, at his old age, I mean, still a thing though. More than 20 first time in his career. Like, okay, but you play with Steph. Okay. Anyway, but it was good. Obviously, a good move from Kerr to play him and play bigger, because the Warriors are not big.
Yeah.
But use him. He's consistent, right? So and Dallas didn't have an answer for it. So there you go.
And I think, well. And I think he's also changed the series in that we saw Ayton kind of wilt against the Mavericks in the last series, even with the games they won. Looney, on the other hand, they went at Looney really hard in game 1 and just couldn't score against him. And that was a big reason why they weren't a factor on offense in that game. They tried to, expose the center like they do against so many other centers, and it just didn't work. I think part of the reason why that's more difficult against the Warriors is just Draymond Green's defensive communication and help defense is immaculate. And so by starting both Looney and Draymond, you're giving them someone to target, and then simultaneously taking away the opportunity to take advantage of it by having one of the best weak side defenders we've ever seen. And they set them up, basically. They set them up and they fell into that trap game 1. They barely targeted him in game 3 at all. I think there was some possessions in the 4th where Brunson or Dinwiddie tried to go at him, but it just didn't really work. And then as you mentioned, his offensive explosion, that is because of them playing the trapping defense that I was curious to see from Jason Kidd. I mentioned that he not learned that from Vogel, but that was something that the Lakers did while he was there. It could well have been his idea, but I wanted to see how that would work against Steph and the Warriors, where their offense is based on moving the ball, and it's more of a defense that works against a team with a ball-dominant player.
Yeah, with one scorer, right? Like if you have Clay and Poole and then Wiggins scoring and even Draymond shooting threes and scoring, like just impossible. You can trap as much as you want, but still have another shooter.
Exactly. And the other jump that Looney's made in this series is the passing. Like some of those interior passes that he's been making have been incredible as well. And that's a product of them trapping Steph and then playing 4 against 3. And all of a sudden you turn everyone into a into a creator, into a playmaker on the Warriors. And they've just been able to get the ball not only out of Steph's hands, but out of his hands and into an advantageous position time after time. It's not looking
over.
Good.
Is it over tonight? Does it end tonight? Does Dallas win 1 like Denver did? Like what happens?
I can see it, but I also do feel like Dallas has lost the fight. I feel like this is different because Denver, like, it was the first round, and you don't want to just go out having fought to get to that point, fought for your seeding, and then leave the playoffs with no wins. Yeah, you don't want to be the Nets. Whereas here, Dallas have been on a run, right? They've achieved something. They've gotten to the conference finals. I don't know if their willpower is that strong at this point. And that's what it will depend on. Like, will they see it as, oh, well, we've made it this far and that's an achievement, and it's fine to go out to who they probably think are going to be the eventual champions? Or will they be like, nah, we've come this far, we're not getting swept? And that will be the difference, I think. Will it matter? Maybe the Warriors are just that much better.
Yes.
I don't know.
I'm going with a W for Dallas tonight with a 50-point game for Luka. But then it'll be
50.
It's a 50. It's a 50 tonight for Luka, but then it's over the game after that.
Luka is not LeBron, man. He cannot play the whole game. He can't play 48 minutes. He can't score 50.
He doesn't need 48. But I think he'll go for 50. If not 47, he always goes for 47. in that.
So you think Dallas take? Well, they are playing
I think
Dallas.
They'll win 1. It's the last home game, and then they just they'll. The Warriors are just better than them. There's no denying it, right? It's just how it is. So I don't think even if Dallas grabs 1, it'll be over in 5 rather than 4, and then. The Mavs, the Warriors are a nice bunch of people, so they'll let the Mavs get 1, and then they'll go, okay, we'll finish this next game. You guys take it's time to shine.
The last time they let a team led by one of the best playmakers of all time get 1, they ended up losing 3-1. Just saying.
Against the Bulls, Jordan. What?
I said one of the best playmakers of all time.
Sure. Yeah, MJ. Oh, Magic.
2016. They were just like,
nobody was watching.
We're wrecking them. We'll let you get 1. And then, bam, 3-1.
There were other things, more important things happening in 2016. Nobody cared. We didn't watch it.
There were. I did just want to say Steve Kerr's adjustment putting Draymond on Brunson also helped the Warriors sort of maintain the series lead, because although he can shoot threes and make threes, he's not one of those players that's going to be like, okay, I'm going to shoot 10 threes then if you're leaving me open. He'll shoot a few, and he's made a few, but ultimately he wants to drive into the paint and score that way.
Yeah, that's the good thing with the Warriors. They got so many ways of using their defensive players. It's quite interesting. You can literally put Green on anyone, and you'll be effective doing that. And it'll be, it's a great option. You can mix it up a little bit. So that's why they what was it? Trip to the finals. What is it? What's that crazy number? It's like 6 times in 8 years. Is that what it was? No, that's a bit
6
high.
times. Yeah, they've lost 2. Yeah.
No, it can't be. That's
no,
wrong.
They've won 3 rings. Lost 2 finals. Yeah.
Somebody put some weird.
Toronto. Wait, they were there with Toronto. Who wasn't there? They weren't there last year. And which other year did they miss the finals?
Miami and LA 2020.
2020.
So they went to the finals 5 times between 2015 and 2019 and won 3.
So every time.
So
yeah. Okay. 5 straight finals.
5 straight, yeah. 5 in a row.
Yeah, and then Jesus.
This year.
They're ridiculous.
Maybe.
Yeah. And then potentially this year. So it would be 6 in.
I mean, this year.
Since 2015. Okay.
So who's going to win the Magic Johnson Western Conference MVP trophy?
You got to give it to Luka in a losing effort, right? I mean, Steph isn't allowed to win awards.
like Jerry West. Jerry West won MVP and lost the finals, didn't he?
He was the first one. He was the first MVP of the finals. Yeah.
Did he become the logo after that? I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, here's a question. Who was the logo before the logo?
There was no logo.
There was no
logos.
Yeah.
They just had no logo, not at all. They just
Nothing.
We're playing basketball tonight. This is the NBA, but we're not going to show you
basketball.
what it looks like.
It's a mystery league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was just the letters. No, I think you have to give it to Steph.
Yeah.
I think you have to give it to Steph. So far, yeah. He's going to be the first Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP. Wild that. Unless they find a way to give it to Iguodala.
Yeah.
or someone like
Wiggins.
Looney,
yeah. Unsung hero. I get so is that it? Did I make my prediction? I'm going sweep. Screw it.
Same.
4-1.
End it. Get it over and done with. And get some rest before meeting Redacted in the finals. So I guess we can shift over to the East.
Go East.
What a confusing series. That's really not confusing at all.
I don't know what's happening, man. I don't know what's happening.
So game 1, the Celtics are pretty comfortable and then have a huge swing in the third quarter where they cannot hold on to the ball, turn it over a zillion times, get outscored by 25, I think, in the quarter. And end up losing in Miami to the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler goes for 30 and change.
41.
I was going to say 40, and then I was like, wait, has he cracked 40 in the series? 41. And I mean, a lot of those were runouts and inside buckets, as Jimmy does. And then game 2, the Celtics strike back. They have not lost consecutive games in the playoffs, all playoffs long. So they strike back, blow them out from the first quarter, I want to say.
Second. I mean, yeah. Yeah, they scored
Second
35
quarter?
points on the first and the second quarter in that game. So yeah.
One of them, it was like a 21-point deficit.
Yeah. On the first one, it was 11 points, and the second one was 14. But that's it. That's
Right.
21.
I think
whatever.
I think they might have clawed it back late, but they were up 21 in the first half.
Yeah.
And blew that game out. Third game, Miami, first quarter, return of Kyle Lowry. I think they had a 25-point lead in the first quarter. It then got eaten into. In the second half, no Jimmy Butler. Celtics cut it to 1, but Miami's able to hold on and give themselves a nice little cushion.
One from Bam.
A huge game from Bam. I think that's a playoff high for him, right?
Yeah,
31. Yeah.
And then game 4. Game 4.
What happened?
The Celtics punched them in the mouth in the first quarter. Not even the first quarter. The first tip. They went up 20 points to 1.
Was it 7 points without a field goal for Miami?
Minutes.
7 minutes, sorry, without a field goal.
Yeah. It was unbelievable.
It's the longest anybody's taken since 2000 something, 2006. It's ridiculous.
It shouldn't happen.
No.
Professional players against professional players. Yeah, they just couldn't get the lid off the basket. And yeah, the Celtics just wiped the floor with them. I think they took the punch in the mouth in game 3 personally.
Well, the one stat is very revealing to how much how soft the Heat were. It's like they only shot 14 free throws. They made 8 out of 14, and then on the other side they got 38. Celtics got shot 34 for 38 free throws. That's usually a good indicator of how aggressive you are to the basket. And so
yeah. Yeah, Oladipo
played
game.
Yeah.
And that's where, well, actually, we don't need to start there. I think building off your point, the free throws are a big indicator, especially because Jimmy Butler lives at the line. And if he's not getting to the line, then Miami aren't getting to the line, right? They have a bunch of good jump shooters. If Bam is aggressive, he can get to the line as well, and he shoots at a high percentage. But Jimmy Butler is basically their free throw attempts, and I haven't got the box score up. He barely had any in game 4, and I think in general in their losses, he has gotten to the line a lot less than he has in their victories. And then the other stat I think, which shows which way the game is going to go, is Celtics turnovers. In the games that they've lost, they've had, I think, almost double, or let me do the maths quick. They've had more than double the turnovers in the losses than they have in the wins, if you look at the totals. So if they can hold on to the ball, then they can generally score against the Heat set defense. And if they're scoring against the Heat set defense, the Heat aren't getting out on the fast break, and the Heat are not able to score against the Celtics set defense, save for Bam in game 3. So that has been basically the tale of the series in terms of on-court disparities. But there's something else that people are talking about with this series, besides the blowouts, besides the turnovers, and that's Tom's favorite topic: playoff injuries.
Oh,
ta-da!
Yeah, go on. No.
So,
sorry, I want to hear what you're gonna say.
The Heat were without Tyler Hero for game 4. The Celtics were without Marcus Smart. but they were able to get Robert Williams back on the floor, who was out, I think, for game 3.
Yep.
Derek White was out for game 3. Marcus Smart,
quite aggressive
Yes.
on game 4.
Whoa.
I mean, he's obviously had some pep talk from some of the coaching staff and told him go, attack the rim. And he started and he was quite good at the beginning.
Yeah, I think he hits a 3 straight out the gate. Definitely early on to spark that 20-1 rate. In fact, he had 7 points in the first 3 minutes.
In the first quarter. Yeah.
And I think he had scored 3 whole series or something like that. It was super low. So yeah, that he returned. That gave them a boost with Smart out. Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler obviously missed the second half of game 3. And they were able to hold on for a victory, but they definitely held on with Oladipo coming through to play well for them. There's just been players missing on both sides. Game 3 also had the Marcus Smart roll his ankle and then make the miraculous dramatic comeback. Jason Tatum
also, right?
On the ground, couldn't even move, Tom.
Then he had to go into the locker room and then disappear and then come back on the being carried.
Yeah, it's just WWE at this point.
Did he come back on a wheelchair?
It was Michael's secret juice, secret potion.
Secret potion. Gatorade.
Yeah.
And yeah, he comes back dramatically, big cheer. So that's been going on. Yeah. There's more. I'm trying to think because game 1 and 2 had their.
I mean, Lowry didn't play the first 2, right?
Yeah. Lowry coming back in game 3, and now my memory's failing me. But there's been players missing. I think Jaylen Brown was carrying an injury in game 1. Was it?
Al Horford with COVID too.
Al Horford missed game 1 with COVID. Came back for game 2 and on. There's just been players in and out. So you know what to do, Tom. What do we do when this happens?
We just turn off the injuries. That's what we do.
Turn them off.
Turn them off. Go into the options, press start, get into the option, turn off injuries. Well, I'd say yes when you start up the season. But yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, and to be fair, no wonder what has been blowout after blowouts. It could be explained also that way. It's not the entire reason, but that is certainly a factor to why one game goes one way and the following game the other end. That you take 2 out of 2 starters out of the starting 5, and then guess what happens? It's hard to make the adjustments from one game to another. And we talk about the carry effect on the entire season of missing one game, playing the next one. That's literally the same thing on the micro level. Over a series is that you get Marcus Smart, next game you don't. Then somebody else comes back, and then another guy who's massively important disappears. So how are you supposed to, judge one performance after the other? It's just very hard to just get the same bunch of players on the court. So it's a weird series, and the injuries and COVID and all that good stuff that's made a massive impact in it. So just turn it off.
Turn them off.
We don't want that.
But yeah, I mean, Jimmy Butler continues to play on that bum knee. And I just think that at this point, if he's not going to be healthy, it almost doesn't matter about everyone else. But if he's not going to be healthy, I'm not even sure Miami can win another game, let alone the rest of the series. He's just been, throughout the playoffs, he's been so reliable, but he's been like their big scorer. He's scored a lot of points in the playoffs for them, which is in contrast to their 2020 run where he wasn't even their leading scorer, right? Dragic had scored more. So yeah, they're so reliant on him in a way that they weren't before that I think this might be it for them.
Wow, you're calling it.
Whoa.
Okay.
Really?
If he's not healthy, that's it. Against this defense of all the teams, this defense is basically built to keep him out of the paint.
Yeah.
And he lives in the paint unless he's going to turn into Steph Curry behind the line. This is going to be a rough one for them, I think. They do head back to Miami. Being at home will help. But is that going to put points on the board? Do they start at +10 when they play at home?
No. But he did say that he played bad in game 4, but it wasn't down to his knee being messed up. I'm like,
we don't believe you. You need more people.
Yeah, yes, Jay. So yeah, I mean, it's I understand and I admire that he's like, yeah, you can't just say my knee's dodgy and that's had an impact, but certainly you're not fooling us. We know. We old men. We know we old men just got dodgy knees too. So, I don't know if it's the end of it. I'm still, I don't know, because of all the injuries and what we just said. I don't know. I see it going to 7.
Okay.
So game 7, baby.
So you think Miami manages to get one of the next 2?
Yeah.
And we end up in a
It's been so unpredictable, so it's very hard for me. That's the reason why I'm going. All right, we're going to the full series, and I don't, because I can literally not predict. Even though, the Butler's on one knee, but like the Celtics also they're like a massive roller coaster of emotion there. It's just like one game they'll be up by 25, and then suddenly the lights are off. It's very hard to understand what they're doing too, and it seemed like they were on like they had everything under control in the first round, and then they were okay in the second round. And that sign life is like I don't know if it's getting to them, the fact that in the Eastern Finals. I don't think that's really that, but I don't know if it feels like they're like, oh, what is this? It's too high. I don't want to jump. So I don't know. I'm saying in 7, but I don't know who's going to win it. I have no idea. I'm leaning towards the Celtics, but only because Butler is on one leg. So okay, Celtics in 7. There you go. Boom.
All right.
I think Miami can win one more, but eventually it's going to be Boston. So I'm also sticking with 7, Celtics in 7. I think that's what I said before the series started.
Yeah.
So what do you want, Dave? Are you saying Celtics in 6?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Inevitable.
Okay.
Just like Thanos.
So who's winning the Larry Bird MVP trophy for the Eastern Conference?
I don't. They probably give it to a fan, right?
Kyrie.
Give it to the Leprechaun. No. I was going to say it's going to be Tatum, but Jaylen Brown's been excellent in this series. But yes, it'll be Tatum. It'll be Tatum, I think. I think he's been a bit more consistent. Brown's had some standout games. I think it goes there.
Yeah.
And the first Larry Bird Eastern Conference Player Award goes to a Celtic.
How? Wow. They could have given it to... No, I was going to go somewhere else, but no, it's fine. Larry Bird.
Embiid.
Yeah.
Who's never made out of the second round.
Some would say on Twitter, overrated.
Will he ever?
Will he ever? I don't know. Trust the process, Jose. Trust it. Trust it. No more? Okay.
I did want to ask you guys how you feel about, I guess, the play in the in the conference finals and the playoffs overall. There's a conversation happening right now saying that the playoffs have been crap and that the conference finals have been even worse.
I disagree. I think it's really entertaining. Blowouts, sure, they're not the easiest thing to watch, right? It's like, lose interest after the third quarter. But these guys, you're watching the best players in the game right now, so I like it. I managed to watch a couple of full games and I really enjoyed it. Like, it's just, we can't complain at everything, man. We just had really long,
Yes,
really long regular
Yes, we
season.
can.
Yes, we
Right?
can.
So come on, just be appreciative that we're watching some playoff basketball and we're
That's true.
able to watch it. And I'm looking at the glass half full, right? But yeah, I think it's been good. I enjoyed it. Sorry, I just saw foxes outside my house. I'm just trying to move them away from the bins. Hey.
Get the brooms.
Aaron. I think
Aaron, you're not allowed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Get up. This is a playoff episode, Aaron. You're never making it.
I think because the first round was so full of, like the Nets getting absolutely not destroyed, but being out in the first round. That's kind of a surprise.
Yeah, it was a big story.
It was a big story. There's a lot of stories everywhere, and I think because there were games all the time, and like suddenly you're like, oh, shit, the Nets have lost. Oh, the Hawks are not doing as good as they should be doing and stuff like that. So it's like there was a lot going around, and I think now because it's kind of slowed down a little bit, and it's a game every night or a game every 2 days. It's I don't know. I don't think it's boring in terms of like the game itself. No, it's still a very high level, but certainly is more interesting than the regular season, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we're complaining about this. I think it's just because one series is 3-0, so it's like, oh well, there's no fight in this. It's not interesting because a sweep on that level shouldn't happen. It did happen before, but it shouldn't. We shouldn't be seeing that now. And then on the other side, it's like, well, there's like a psychotic teams that are just like, I'm up by 20, I'm going to lose, and then next game I'm down by 30, but I'm still going to win it. It's like, the hell are you doing? So it's very hard to analyze as well. That it's hard for people that don't watch basketball, even for us that watch a lot of basketball. It's like, I don't even know how to look at this. No, I think it's absolutely fine. It's just people moaning for no reason, I'm still
to everybody's needs, right?
Yeah.
Like, someone is going to complain at some point.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that the Warriors are 3-0 up and the other side is a bit psychotic, and it's just that. It's like if it was, let's say 3-2 Warriors and then 2-2, but then like really close games on the other side, people will be like, oh my god, yeah, great, two great series, but it's just because of it's recency bias again. It's like the last few games have been a bit odd. But no, I'm still saying the same thing, that we should shorten the regular season, and then you'll have by a few games. Like that's my. If you had to complain about something, it would be that. It'd be like make it slightly shorter, like 72 games instead of 82, and then cool, we're done. But playoffs is fine. It's where you play proper basketball, so you'll chill.
Yeah, it's great with stakes, isn't it? It's just great with stakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's all I've come here to talk about. Got anything else?
Yeah, I think we'll probably not talk about it today because I haven't seen any spots, but where teams are located. But Slam magazine just launched best 75 teams in NBA history. I think it's really interesting if we get our hands on that list. Because the magazine is only in America right now, but we can probably get one or digital copy or something and discuss it. I think number 72 is OKC with the big three of Durant, Harden, and Westbrook.
Yeah,
they're quite high there though, like or quite low if you want to anyway you want to say it, like 72. So that's the one I saw in the promo. I think it will be interesting to see what some teams are ranked according to them.
Do they? All the fans are going to be in uproar. Do they? Do they pick a year? So is it like 2012 OKC, or it's just?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, it's not.
It's gotta be. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly that, but I assume so.
Yeah.
Well, you know who number one is already.
The Spurs 2014.
In terms of how they in terms of like beautiful basketball.
No,
the 2001 Lakers.
But the best team is gotta be the 95, 96 Bulls,
Bulls,
right?
of course. It'll be the 82. No, was it? No,
They didn't win 73 games.
72.
71 or 72.
But they won the chip.
They won. But the yeah,
I'm
in
gonna
terms
like
of
this episode when we do this episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to really enjoy it.
I'm
but in terms of basketball being played, I'll give it to the Spurs. That is it 2014 Spurs? Is that the one?
I think they're amazing. They're not the best team though. The
In
Bulls will
terms
beat
of
them.
No. I'm not talking about who would win. I'm talking about like in terms of like watching the team play. Like as
It
a
was
sport.
fun. Yeah, it was
If you
nice.
didn't
My
know,
God.
Tom is a basketball romantic and a football romantic.
Yeah,
French.
he's
Very
a
French.
basketball Shakespeare.
Well, there's something I've realized. This is why I was bitching about NBA Twitter today, because I keep saying, like, I understand the role of data and the role of stats and all that good stuff, but like there's a lot of people on there that like they watch basketball through the eyes of numbers only, and it's a bit.
Yeah.
And I understand it. It's fine. It's a good way to watch it. I'm not saying it's the bad way. To me, I'm like, yeah, it's a bit odd, like efficiency and rating and all that stuff.
Judge them, Tom. Judge them.
I will one day. I will.
You'll do a rankings of worst types of fan.
Well, number one should be Nets fans. So I don't know if there's a point doing that. Anything after that. Anyway, come at me.
Warriors fans are not that great either.
Listen,
They're young as well.
there's not many fan bases that as a pack with a pack mentality, you'd say, oh, great people.
individually, yeah, of course. But then as a pack, nah.
As a pack, oh no.
Oh, I mean,
no.
There's no
Millwall
fandom.
fans are pretty good.
Oh, amazing, the best.
Fulham,
Oh,
yeah.
Fulham. Shout out to Wolverhampton fans. They're cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, pitch invasions galore. Could you imagine if that happened to NBA games?
Well, we have a special about this one. It's called Malice in the Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
pitch
that
invasion on
was a reverse pitch invasion.
Yeah.
It was a stand invasion.
Yeah.
And on that note, we bring the pod to an end. Remember to like, share, subscribe, rate and review the podcast at Grit and Grime Pod across socials. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you first of all, and please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And that's it. I've been your host, David Sagoe. He's been Thomas Arnal.
You've been fantastic.
He's been Jose Garcia Vidal.
You've been fantastic.
And
Wow.
we're out of here fantastically.